Aloha, everyone, and welcome to the Daily AI Show. It's January 6th, 2025, and I am joined by Andy, Beth, and I am Junmei. So welcome, everyone. This is one of our early New Year's episodes, first week of New Year's. I hope everyone has had a great holiday and have come out of the winter void to get neck deep into AI. Let's open it up with some news. Andy, do you
Yeah,
have any burning news for us?
it is a burning news week because of CES. So yesterday was the first day of CES, and there's a lot of news coming out of that because everything's on the floor, But there are also keynote presentations, and I'm not watching that in real time, but I saw some summaries of that, and I want to talk about a few of those things. I'd like to spend a good bit of time, not right now, but in a few minutes, about robotics, because I think that's a major theme that's going on here. But right now, I want to just say that one of the things that was announced that it was part of Jensen Huang's keynote address. He talked about the things that we expected, which is like the new Rubin line of chips and so on. I'm going to set that aside. I think we've heard about those before and we've expected that coming. It looks like they're going to come out a little earlier than expected. But what I found very interesting was the NVIDIA Alpamayo open sourced reasoning AI for autonomous vehicles in partnership with Mercedes-Benz. Now, NVIDIA's got, of course, the Groot system and all of the things that you need for robotics, but they're applying the same kinds of technologies to autonomous vehicles, and they have a new thing called Alpamayo, which is the first reasoning-based AI model to handle unexpected situations. So it's a technological breakthrough. It's not just, hey, learn through simulation, all of these things that likely are to happen in the real world on the road for your autonomous vehicles. It separates perception, which is all the LiDAR cameras, sensors, ultrasonic, all the things that go into those systems. But it uses a vision language action model with chain of thought reasoning. So it doesn't just detect objects and plot paths. It thinks through novel scenarios, things that it hasn't seen before, step by step, and it can explain its driving decisions in natural language during training and eventually even in your car. It'll say, oh, well, wait a second. The reason I didn't turn left there was because there was a little doggy that ran out. I don't know what the thing will be. But anyway, it removes the black box problem of autonomous driving and other robotics applications by providing kind of a reasonable and transparent explanation of what it's doing as it does this evaluation. Now, it provides, to use a term of art, explainability, right? Explainability. Why did that Waymo car do that? And that's not been so transparent before, but this new system, Alpamayo, does provide that. So there's market validation coming because Mercedes-Benz will deliver a new CLA model this quarter, Q1 2026. And you'll be able to buy that with the complete Drive AV stack, including Alpamayo. So Mercedes is challenging Tesla in respect of their autonomous capabilities, but in partnership with NVIDIA. So I thought that was a really big one.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing because we didn't really have any competition, right? It was pretty much Tesla was running the show with that. You had your taxis, your robo.
Well, you had Waymo.
Waymo.
I mean, Waymo's
Right.
out there.
But well, what I like about this is a package that you're going to be able to add to your or get a vehicle with this built in. I'm hoping they'd be able to build it as a module that you can just start adding to your own car. that might require a bit more of more hardware tweaking.
That it has to be fully integrated with a whole raft of sensors in the car.
Sure. I mean, look, all I'm waiting for is like Gotham Customs to bring you your, latest AI car mod.
Shoot me once, if you carry Edge AI or Edge AI carries you. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to just be able to put in something the size of Raspberry Pi and just plug it. You know what? Like the size of an 8-track. 8-track players are coming back. You just put it on module. It's like, here's my self-driving car module, go. And then,
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to totally autonomize my 2004 Dodge Durango.
You got to put it into the hands of people. That's why, not everyone's going to have a Mercedes,
No, but that Mercedes, that means you can buy this quarter, you can buy a level 2 autonomous driving vehicle.
Now that's amazing in its own fact that it can do it within this quarter, like that turnaround. So it's obviously something that's been building toward for a while, and only now NVIDIA's releasing this relationship and things like that. But yeah, being able to do it within the first quarter is amazing.
Maybe people in the automotive industry have been aware of this partnership and the upcoming release of the CLA with autonomous driving. But I'm excited about that. I believe that this is what's going to happen. And I have additional news on the robotics front when we talk about that has to do with car manufacturing and the use of humanoid robots in car manufacturing. So we'll get to that, though.
Yeah, robots seem to be the theme for CES, at least the news coming out of it. I don't know how much AI is built into the Lego demonstration, but everyone seemed to love the Lego stuff.
Yeah, now that is cool, and they do refer to some electronic components that fit into one of the little cylinders on the Lego brick, right? Mm-hmm. That includes somehow a sort of rudimentary form of AI that then allows for interaction among the bricks. So, shall we talk about Lego?
Yes. I feel like because Carl's in the green room, but his camera's not on yet. Get in here, Carl. We'll talk about
here's the thing. Before you go into it, Andy, I just want to say thank you for confirming that there is some part of AI, part of the Lego robotics, because guess what? That means one of my predictions is true.
Oh. Wow. Well, it's not. We need to dig deeper on it to find out just how AI it is, but it's incredibly smart bricks, right? Lego is being very smart.
Nice. All right, Carl, what do we got?
Wait, Junmi, does that mean like 6 days in you've achieved a check mark prediction?
I think so. I mean, you guys have to tell me if I do, or chat. Definitely tell me if my prediction, one of my predictions for 2026, I said there would be an AI toy or device that is going to be wildly popular in 2026. Lego's already wildly popular. The response from the CES coverage so far has been wildly popular.
All right.
So if there's an AI component for that, it might be a technicality, but a technical one's still a win, right? Not inch or mile, Toretto.
Okay, so here I've got some technical details about the Lego bricks. This is the Smart Play Lego platform. Okay, it has responsive, sensor-laden bricks that interact with each other and react to the play patterns in real time without any apps, screens, or internet connectivity. It's all right there in your Lego brick box. The Smart Brick packs 20 patented technologies into a standard 2x4 Lego brick form factor, powered by a custom 4.1 millimeter, very tiny ASIC chip, smaller than a single Lego stud. Okay, so there's embedded sensors, including an accelerometer, magnetometer, proximity detection via copper coils, and a miniature speaker driven by an onboard synthesizer capable of producing dynamic audio like R2-D2 Tweeling and a C-3PO talking if you're using the Star Wars, which is going to be the first smart play system that's put out there. Is going to be a Star Wars Lego set. So anyway, just amazing technology packed into a Lego brick. So miniaturization plus smart bricks equals really dynamic interactive play. That's the idea. And they also come up with mini figures. So they have this other thing goes beyond the bricks. They've got mini figures. They also can, have near field magnetic communication with each other. And so when a smart brick detects a smart minifigure, it triggers the appropriate sound.
Oh, this is like the game board that we were talking about, right? Yeah. Where like your toy interactions are starting to actually have this smart kind of thing. And I just realized something, Andy, because I am not so much a Lego person. When you said 2x4 brick, I was thinking 2 inches by 4 inches. These suckers are huge. You mean 2 knobs?
Right. It's the stud dimensions.
Yes. Yeah, right. Excuse me. I said knobs. I revealed my my lack of critical knowledge in the Lego world. All right.
Well, two things just occurred to me when you said that, Eddie, is number one, it does look like Lego just basically wants to make the Lego movie real. Can you just imagine minifigs now becoming robotic and all of those sensors and everything? But it's just, look, it's one brick. If you've seen the videos or whatnot, it just looks like a single brick. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. This is going to be a great expansion to the whole Lego Storm robotics kit. I can see stuff in there. And when you were reading off all the sensors, NFC, accelerometer, I was like, so Lego has all the tech, or at least half the tech that goes into a cell phone? Are we going to see a cell phone?
That's from the chicken one too, yeah.
Yeah, because think about it. Lego is perfect for building anything. So can you imagine? It's like, oh, here's a cell phone kit. You just put a few of these bricks together and you literally have the capabilities of a cell phone in your hand.
So here's when you'll be able to start building. March 1st is the launch, right? So you'll be able to buy any one of or all 3 Star Wars all-in-one sets launching March 1st. And that includes the smart bricks, charging pads, smart tags, which are a studless 2x2 square that you can add to your assembled devices, and that they do something else that's smart, and at least one smart minifigure, probably Darth Vader or something. You can start ordering them at lego.com on January 9th, just this Friday. So line up, order your Star Wars smart bricks.
I'll definitely be watching this. I can already imagine people, and this has got to be in alignment with like Lego in general. There will be the sets, and then there'll be all the crazy stuff people build just from the pieces.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm waiting for.
This is not going to be cheap, right? And this is not really for kids.
This is true. Like, Lego definitely built into the or what do they call it? Expendable income bracket. Because they were Lego. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Because Lego sets are extremely expensive. Just the regular ones, not even these smart ones. So yes, I can see it. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the wacky stuff that people come up with.
So this Jeff says a kid's going to swallow one. They're all going to get recalled, which, slightly snarky. Love you, Jeff. Go. But also it does call into question, like, we're seeing all of this, but we haven't seen any safety information. Like, is swallowing one of these the equivalent of swallowing a button battery? Right? Those kinds of things.
It's better because you'll be able to track your children, at a distance once they have them on.
While they're living and sneezing and foaming at the mouth. I don't know that that's what parents want. Thank you.
Well, all right. I mean, to answer that really quickly, I think it's all enclosed. From what the close-up videos that they were showing, everything looks like it's enclosed. So it's just as dangerous as swallowing a regular Lego piece. And they've been doing that for decades. So I'm sure there's a I'm sure there's a procedure to make sure you get the Lego piece out of your system.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about my news. Carl, you are here though. Yay. Hello. I just have a really good weave off of the medical complications of swallowing Lego bricks. OpenAI has dropped information that they've been talking about for a while, but more than 5% of all ChatGPT messages globally are about healthcare, and more than 40 million globally prompt about healthcare every day. And this is a personal story for me as well. And the headline is "It's not a tumor." So I had a skin lesion excised and biopsied, and of course the pathology report is ready for me before the doctor is, right? And the pathology report has all words that I have no idea what any of them mean, but many of them sound scary. And I just took that piece of information and like, okay, ChatGPT, I just need, is skin cancer yes or no? Right? Like, that's all I need to know. Am I going to a surgeon soon or am I whatever? And that was really skin cancer, no. And that was really helpful in just being able to understand. I'm sure I'm still having conversations with the doctor. And the reason that this is a thing for me is that I grew up in the world on Martha's Vineyard where we used baby oil or Wesson oil when we ran out of tanning oil. So they're just growing periodically because that's the age and skin damage that we all did to our bodies when we were too uninformed to know better. All right. So yay. And I'm curious how other people have used ChatGPT to get information that you were looking for in terms of health. It does seem to be something that is a really great use case for users to get value. Cool. Yay. All right. I didn't mean that, Greg. Thank you very much. Let's clean things up and move forward. Here we go. Welcome Anne to the show. Thanks.
Good morning. Happy 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Junmi has already, what you've missed so far is that Junmi has already killed it in his predictions for 2026. Noted here on the show on the 6th day of January, by way of the Lego demo. Yeah. The Lego demo. Okay. Who else has news or something? Andy wants to talk about robotics.
Well, actually, speaking of robotics, I have my AI and science story, which is about robotics, and kind of weaves off of the Lego story as well, because it talks about micro robotics. So the researchers at the University of Pennsylvania School of Engineering and Applied Science and the University of Michigan have created microscopic robots so small they're barely visible, yet smart enough to sense, decide, and move completely on their own. Powered by light and equipped with tiny computers, the robots swim by manipulating electrical fields rather than using moving parts. They can detect temperature changes, follow program paths, and even work together in groups. The breakthrough marks the first truly autonomous robots at this microscopic scale. So, and this story comes in from Science Daily. So essentially, the biggest problem with the micro robotics scale is anything smaller than 1 millimeter has been a technical barrier. So they were able to cross this. This is a robot with a full sensor package. And one of the things that they wanted to highlight was this revolutionary, or at least massively different change in how the motion for the micro robot, and that electrical field change essentially just moves the charge around it to move the surrounding molecules. so whereas other small robots may have flexible body or flippers and stuff like that, that all tends to really break much quicker at the microscopic level. So the way I like to imagine it is, if you remember from the Matrix, and they had the ships, right? You got out of the Matrix, and now you're in the dreary real world. The ships use these electromagnetic discs on the ship to move around, and you could see electrical arcs coming off of it, and that's how it moved through the electrical field. This is how I imagine the robot is doing this, is moving the charged ions around it as it to provide it motion. So just tying it in a little bit. Now, beyond the fact that it's a technical breakthrough, where micro robots will be helpful is, and when I say micro, I'm saying that it can balance on the ridge of a fingerprint. That's how small these robots are. So that a number of applications in being able to perform certain tasks at that level, even internal tasks in certain bodies, or in hard to reach places, nooks and crannies that we can't even imagine about putting a swarm or package of these micro robots for their sensor capabilities and the task completion capabilities. So that's my AI and science story. It's all about robotics. It seems to be all about robotics today. It's coming up, robotics.
It makes me ask, what is a robot, right? Like, how small can you go and still be a robot?
Well, as long as it's what constitutes a robot? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We don't want to turn this into a sci-fi AI show. Hey, but any autonomous device that can execute instructions in a physical embodiment. I think that is a nice general way of saying a robot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about autonomous there. I think you can have a robot that's not autonomous. But anyway, that's on there.
Yeah.
That's a nit. And we expect our robots to be ultimately autonomous, right?
Right.
Andy and Gareth having the great brains listening.
Gareth and I are on great minds think alike there. Okay, good.
That's true. I suppose you don't need it to be autonomous. I can see that.
Okay, so let's focus on robotics here, and because we're talking about robotics in the context of Consumer Electronics Show, right? There are announcements that are being made about consumer applications of robots, and specifically humanoid robots. And I want to talk about those. But CES is now being used also for things that don't really touch consumers directly, that are industrial scale electronics developments. And so there are some robotics announcements that are relevant to that as well. So first, I wanted to point to the general competition space out there for humanoid robots that will come into the home. And this is an area, Carl, that I know you're very excited about, because the recycling issues still, are unaddressed for you, but it's going to happen for you. And here's why. So instead of the major players like Tesla and Figure and Unitree and so on, delivering or other small startups focusing on home applications of this, now at CES, LG, the person or the company that makes your dishwasher, your washer and dryer, your televisions, and other consumer electronics things, they produce the most consumer-ready embodied AI platform to date. It combines advanced vision systems, dexterous manipulation, autonomous navigation, and it's going to address specifically the massive labor market for household chores. Okay, it's a multi-billion unit market out there if robotics can achieve the safety and capability requirements to actually operate inside the home, especially if they can do it, given LG's scale, at the price points for home appliances. And that's what LG is pursuing here. So their robot is called Cloyd, like a droid with C, I guess. Okay, Cloyd. Okay, and it's going to compete with all those other players out there. But LG has established electronics manufacturing for consumers. It has distribution channels already, and it has brand trust in the home. So all of those factors can lead to Cloyd being better than the other players for this insertion into your home environment. Okay, it has an anthropomorphic design, a head unit, a wheeled base, so it's not trying to walk around your house. So it's made specifically for homes with level floors, right? But I think it's going to have some way of getting up from one level to the next, right? So, and not climbing stairs necessarily, but there's probably going to be something that's in their design that will give you a tool that will let you move it up a two-step thing to get up to another level, for example. Okay, has 2 articulated arms, 7 degrees of freedom. That's not a huge range of freedom, but that's enough. 5 actuated fingers for fine manipulation like folding laundry, loading dishwashers, preparing food, and organizing objects. Multiple cameras provide vision and autonomous navigation, object recognition, and spatial awareness. So LG is pursuing a vision of what they call the zero labor home. And this is for you, Carl. So you will not have to lift a finger anymore in your home when you buy the Cloyd. Okay, it's part of their, and they'll integrate it with their larger range of smart appliances in their ecosystem. And so they have a cohesive, automated home environment for you. So that's Cloyd. Any comments about Cloyd? Because then there's another one that's the affordable humanoid robot butler.
Well, Greg's asked the question I was going to ask right after you said Cloyd. Is it like Claude, or what? Is it built by Claude? Did they use Claude in building it?
It's like Claude, but cloying, right? Like, what were you thinking, right? Like cloistered, cloying.
It's quoted with an I, not a Y. So
okay, but it just sounds like it's like, ooh, let's call the robot moist, right? Like, I don't know that this was a good sound that we went toward. Sorry for people who moist is a
okay. So the other major announcement, just like yesterday, was from a company that is also in the consumer home space called SwitchBot. All right. So the SwitchBot is the first switch. It's called Oniro, I guess. Oniro H1, the affordable humanoid robot butler. It's the first humanoid robot optimized for affordability and ecosystem integration rather than cutting edge research capability, targeting a price point and feature set that could make home robotics accessible to mainstream consumers in the next years. And its price point is under $5,000. So it features a upper body manipulation platform, right, mounted on a wheeled base rather than legs, again, like the LG one. And that pragmatic approach eliminates complexity and cost of bipedal locomotion, which is one of the major things that taxes a humanoid robot. At the same time, it maintains dexterity for household chores like sorting your recycling and folding your laundry. So there you go. It has a proprietary vision language action model built into it. And it's attempting to integrate with the task-specific devices that SwitchBot already has in the home, which include smart locks, curtain motors, thermostats, and appliances. And I don't own any SwitchBot things, but apparently they're pretty widely used out there. And it's going to be focused on contact-intensive tasks with its arms, including folding clothes, loading dishwashers, sorting, recycling, serving coffee. Oh, I love that. While delegating specialized jobs to specific purpose-built devices in the SwitchBot-enabled autonomous home. Okay, there you go.
Well, I mean, this kind of goes towards, what was it, a few days ago? The Atlas robot from Boston Dynamics, they announced a big deal.
Yeah, with NVIDIA and Google DeepMind behind it, right?
Yeah.
But because they're using the NVIDIA Groot platform to build the Boston Dynamics Atlas thing. And what I learned about that, by the way, is that Hyundai owns a controlling interest now since 2021 in Boston Dynamics. I did not know that. I learned that from the news today about that. And they bought that for approximately $1 billion. When you think about robotics being forecast to be worth multiple trillions by 2050, like $10 trillion humanoid robots. That's the market scale of this thing. For Hyundai to have acquired Boston Dynamics for $1 billion just sounds like a steal. Well, they didn't buy it entirely. Like they had a controlling interest. So 51%. So valuation on the order of magnitude of $2 billion. So anyway, that their focus on building the Atlas one and their announcements at CES have to do with they're going to mass produce the Atlas humanoid robot in a special manufacturing facility that will produce 30,000 units annually by 2028, primarily to service the automotive construction market, right? So that's where the Boston Dynamics Atlas is going to show up first in large quantities.
The Hyundai auto factories. That's probably where.
Yeah, and Kia, of course, Hyundai and Kia are the same company in effect.
Yep.
And BYD, by the way, Tesla's facing growing competition for its humanoid robotics sector, which they expect to be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And Jensen Huang made reference to that recently in his discussions about his admiration for Elon Musk and Tesla. But Chinese manufacturers, including BYD, the world's largest car manufacturer, right, are targeting thousands of units of their humanoid robots in 2025 to 2026. So that means this year. And U.S. startups like Agility Robotics have attracted substantial funding, and Agility Robotics has constructed a factory capable of producing 10,000 digit robots annually. So all of this is to say that CES for the home market, and also then all of these other major players in humanoid robots for manufacturing, industrial robotics, this is like an enormous wave that's going to hit us, and there's an enormous capital investment that's required, and you're going to see a lot of job displacement of humans who are currently doing the work that these tens of thousands in the next couple of years and ultimately millions. And by the way, Morgan Stanley has a forecast that by 2050, that's quite a few years away from now, but they say there will be 1 billion humanoid robots in action out there.
See, and normally you'd say, well, excellent. That means fixing humanoid robots would be an excellent job, but that's also going to be a robot, right?
Right.
It's true. Does anybody else have any news? I've got a couple stories.
I do have one. It's primarily it's for devs and you can use it for non-tech. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to the Ralph Wiggum approach to software dev that has been running around. So a brief history back in 2014, July or June, Jeffrey Huntley posted an article on his Substack about the Ralph Wiggum approach. So the Ralph Wiggum approach is there's a guy named Matt Pocock and Jeffrey Huntley, and it's like a super simple, like, so think of Ralph Wiggum, right? It's like he'll do stuff until he either hurts himself, but he'll just keep doing stuff regardless of anything. So the
Okay, I'm dumb. Who is Ralph Wiggum? Is it a character?
Ralph. Okay, yes, Simpsons Ralph Wiggum.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody remember? I was like, okay, I'm assuming everyone knew who Ralph Wiggum was, but anyway, very, very funny character on The Simpsons. Pretty much a really dumb character. A special needs child in
it's the kid, right? Not the chief. It's the chief of police's kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for clarification. Okay, cool.
So it's there's a plugin on Claude Code, and it is essentially autonomous, where it keeps going and going, even if it messes up. It keeps going until it completes the job. Huntley came up with it actually in June 2025 during a Y Combinator hackathon, and the reason why it came back up is because the AI is now good enough to be able to do it. Back in June, the models weren't like tailored for that agentic use. Now they are, especially Opus 4.5. So there is an Anthropic plugin to make it easier. It's called the Ralph loop. And there's a lot of people who've been able to essentially, once you prompt it, you have your prompt and you just put /Ralph loop. Essentially, it'll just keep going, failing, keep going and failing, going until it completes the task. And there's a lot of people who have built ridiculous applications based on that loop, right? So if you use that /Ralph loop, essentially the AI, you could say, is either brute forcing or quasi learning. I don't know about learning, but it keeps failing until it doesn't fail. You just have to have a bunch of tokens to.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds like reinforcement.
Yeah, to keep doing it.
A hackneyed jury rig reinforcement process.
Yes.
You could just put in as a plugin for Claude.
Yes.
Claude Desktop.
Yeah. No, for Claude Code.
Claude Code. Sorry, Claude Code.
Claude Code. Yeah. So if you go to the Claude Code plugins, and I'll put that in the post show chat and feedback, you'll see Ralph Wiggum. Or search for Ralph Wiggum and you can see it, and then it'll just keep doing it. Now, the crazy thing about this is you don't have to be necessarily developing software applications for this, because you could do the same thing for non-tech projects too, right? All you need to do is, so I think there was one example. One guy uses Ralph for his B2B sales pipeline. It does deep research on companies, verifies contacts, moves files around, updates spreadsheets, all in loops across in hundreds of entries. Some person made a personal assistant, content creation or operational tasks, audits, coordination, reporting, basically anything with files or clear steps that benefit from retrying until it's solid. So I'm not sure what the use cases are, but I just really thought it was a very interesting thing that's coming up, because if you wanted to build something and there's examples of this, then people are just using the loop over and over. So essentially you stick an AI model in the loop, could be Codex, could be Opus 4.5, feed it the same prompt over and over again. Each time the AI looks at what it did before via the Git history, it reiterates until it hits a stop condition. So you just put the condition of this is what complete looks like. No fancy orchestration. It's all about relentless retry vibe. So it just keeps going and going and going. It turns AI into a tireless coder for essentially new projects or backlogs in a cheaper way than outsourcing. And the guy used it to build a bunch of stuff. Because they're sharing a bunch.
Is there a Git repo with the instructions or README that tells you how to do that in Claude Code? Or where's the link that we can
in the post show chat and feedback? So there's the plugin, but then I'll paste the Git link too, and then that is the Ralph Wiggum Git as well. If you want to.
Okay, I want to take a weave off of this and just talk about Python REPL. So this is a little technical talk here. So take notes. There's going to be a quiz later. So in Python, there's a thing called a REPL, REPL. It's called a read, eval, print loop. And it's specific to this thing we're discussing here, which is looping recursively in order to arrive at an ultimate objective over many iterations. So Python has this system that's particularly applicable to recursive language models. So what it does is it takes this REPL takes the input prompt, which could be up to millions of tokens long, and loads it into the REPL's memory as a variable, not putting it into the model's limited context window. And then the language model writes and executes code to peek into and filter or decompose that memory variable. And then a REPL allows the model to programmatically trigger new model calls, subqueries, recursively over the specific chunks of data, then the model stitches together the results to answer complex queries. So this is actually underneath the hood, a feature of this kind of package that's a Python package called a REPL, REPL. And I'd run across that term a number of times and didn't know what it was. And I just had to, rely on Notebook LM to be assembling all of these things. But it started to emerge more and more frequently in the context of recursion in reasoning models. And this thing that we're going to play with now over the next couple of days, thanks for bringing us that, Carl, is I think an example of this kind of looping programmatic system that can accomplish a degree of autonomy and accomplishment that's heretofore been unlikely.
But so Boris Cherny, we've talked about him or referenced him. He is the creator of Claude Code and wrote about how he used it. And several people have commented on that as well. And one of the ways that they're using it seems to be okay, so we have these goals that I'm kind of watching. I have these goals. I just check on them every couple hours, right? Now, I don't know that that's a loop never ending. I mean, I got to say that I think he's probably not rate limited, right? He created the thing and he can use as many tokens as he wants, I'm guessing. But it does seem like that people who are really mastering this are segmenting. This is work that I need to pay attention to. This is work that can just happen based on the way that I have set it, because there's going to be a well-defined stop point and it's okay to move forward. I think that there are people who are using that kind of workflow a little bit more.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Well, I was just going to say I agree with that thought process, because a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing surrounding Claude Code is the efficiency, and that might come out of because of the rate limiting, because there hasn't been a mass exodus because of the rate limits that Claude is put in there. People are still doing it. Now they're adapting. So things like this, Ralph, things like putting in processes. I've been seeing a lot of process discussion where whether you're running your agents in parallel, you're running your 33-point process for software development, and getting those kinds of skills, both actual skills and the skills in the software development cycle, that seems to be all part of that same focus is here's how to efficiently use your tokens, because now you have that limit. In the early days when they didn't have the limit, they were mentioning that they had a handful of users that were running tokens 24/7, just running up huge token usage because they just wanted to keep throwing tokens at the to solve the issue, as opposed to streamlining their process system. So I think that's a bit of an evolution towards that direction.
And that's funny with the Google woman saying, this solved my problem for my team. I use Claude Code. I'm saying it, yay for the competitor kind of stuff. That was a really different story than OpenAI being accused by Anthropic for using like tons of tokens when there wasn't rate limits, right? Like, not only are there people doing it, but it's our competitor running up our costs. Like, hey, so
true.
I wanted to share a quote that I'm just recalling from Nate Jones. I just happened to look at a short blurb on YouTube from him yesterday. He said, "If you haven't been playing with Claude Opus 4.5 recently, you don't yet understand how competent and smart AI models have become." So I think that's a pretty high level endorsement of Claude in that context. Yeah, I have one other bit of news that I want to share that's related to robotics, and this has to do with World Labs, which is the world model lab that Dr. Fei Li is the CEO of and founder. And at CES, during the AMD Advanced Micro Devices CEO's keynote address, the CEO is Lisa Su, Dr. Fei Li demonstrated their product Marble, which is a system that can rapidly create a 3D recreation of any kind of thing from text prompts, basically. But what she showed on the CES stage was a 3D recreation of Las Vegas that obeys physics laws. And the demo, it basically, is demonstrating a fundamental breakthrough in spatial AI. It creates a persistent, physically coherent 3D environment from text, images, and video. So you can feed it multimedia and text instructions. And then this allows for robotics training, a simulation, a persistent simulation, which is physics, reliable, without requiring vast data sets of real world recordings. So you don't have to do that anymore. What they're building is a way to spin up a training environment for real world situations for robots just from a model itself, right? So that's what World Labs is doing. And they demonstrated this by basically recreating Las Vegas, on stage in real time. So, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm already seeing the applications in various industries, like gaming or filmmaking. This is probably the first signs that we're seeing. If I was going to give you a sci-fi example, this is the first steps, because this CES has announced various components that you need to build Westworld. So let's see if that pans out. That's not necessarily a good thing. If you've seen Westworld, if you haven't, go watch X on the Show.
Well, and I'm looking forward to hearing something from you. What's up, girl?
Something, anything? Anyone home? Well, morning. What I was just mulling over was how, the past week or so, I've really been living my like mom wife mode of Anne. And how, as I'm listening to these stories, the news, and like tuning in and thinking about like how many times my brain said like, why the fuck would I care? Like a normal everyday person, mom, like mom running a business, wife doing my domestic life. My brain goes to, I sure hope they're asking some moms how these non-bipedal robots can work in the house. Like I'm sitting there thinking about, I really, really, there are so many applications of all this technology that feel like very, very relevant to our everyday lives. And then there are things that just still seem so sci-fi, right? And I know that June, me, and Beth, we are living in sci-fi. So I'm listening to the stories. They're monumental, and they can change the way 2026 looks and beyond. And then also I'm like, goodness gracious, for the average bear, right? Average person just dinking around in their everyday life in January 6, 2026. Like, how do we know what to pay attention to? Like, if I didn't have you in my life, Andy, June, me, and Beth, like I wouldn't, and the rest of this show, some of these news items wouldn't make their way to me. And would that impact my life in any negative or positive way if I didn't know?
Interesting.
Little existential, but just again, me, thinking about like, well, there's still some leaves that need to be raked, and the recycling, and somebody's got to go to the dump, and there's dog poop that needs to be cleaned up, and so's applications haven't been turned in yet, and all those kind of things. It's just, man, I want technology that makes it easier for me to not continue to not fold my laundry, and that's okay. The laundry goes away.
So we have Gareth expanding it beyond moms. Our mom tasks.
Gareth. Yeah, I mean, and let's be clear. I only do about 10% of the things in our household that are stereotypically mom duties. I don't do those. I have grown kids, and I have a husband. We do all the things together. So yeah, everyone, really, Gareth. Like, I think I was making the point that for me, I've just been in that space and kind of ignoring other things, ignoring the rest of the world for a few days. And I'm like, how does this AI stuff really play with everyday humans?
Well, that's actually kind of to the root of an article that Carl mentioned the other day, I think.
Yeah.
From the team, from one of the team members in ChatGPT, where they were saying that 2026 is really the fill in the gap between, everyday AI and, enterprise AI and those kinds of, business focused things. And of course, everything in between. OpenAI's sort of taking a shotgun approach to, we want to be the platform that provides you every possibility and you just live here. So, but I think that goes to the kind of point of that idea of filling that gap. And that might be the focus of 2026. I mean, if CES has told us anything, it's all about consumer electronics, right? That's CES. So it's all about the robots for 2026. At least it's a strong start in that robotics in the home, robotics for the everyday people. And so maybe AI to that larger extent for 2026 is that, what does AI mean for everybody? How is it going to help everyday life of everyday people? Where is it going to fill in that gap or solve that, create a solution for you for your everyday goals or your everyday tasks? And that might be the concentration for this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I feel like, so one of the predictions was that the gap between people who get AI and can use it effectively and the people who don't is growing wider. And I feel like that right there is part of the key, because there does seem to be, you must be this tall to ride this ride, but once you're this tall, damn, the ride is amazing, but you do still kind of have to get to that place. And
So-
I feel like that's one of the places where we're having these conversations about, like, why, explain to me why my power bill is going up and you've improved my life in any way.
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you're really talking or you're touching upon this idea of, I mean, kind of the role that DAS plays as well, just as a one piece in the larger AI education space, right? Is we've got to fill that gap. We got to help put people or pull people up into that curve. Right. And that's kind of what I'm seeing is the helpful part of what our curation of information and just highlighting things, and goes to what you were saying earlier, Anne, is like, well, does this AI news from sources like DAS or, others, does it help you with your everyday tasks? Does it help you pull you up to the, here's the summit, and now I can do so much more, or now I realize I can do so much more. So yeah, a bit heady for me this early in the morning, but I
So
so a little introspection going on there. It's like, okay, well, maybe I am doing some good in the world. That's a great New Year's resolution. Is am I making the world better through my everyday tasks, or in our case, everyday AI?
Well, and we should say the three of you are Pacific Coast time, so this show has been 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and y'all are rocking it. Good for you.
And I wanted just to follow on your comment about how is this actually finding its way into the home.
Yeah.
And robotics is one question, and AI is another general question.
Yeah.
And you would think that in my household, my close family would all be very, very proficient in using AI on a regular basis, but that's just not the case. This is a rarefied atmosphere that we're living in. Those of us here paying attention to this, and yet recall just days ago we cited the statistic that more than half of people, just general population, have not really even heard anything of detail about AI. It is not on their radar at all. Still, after 3 years of just incredible media and general market space attention to AI.
Yeah.
And Andy, one of the values that you bring to your to how your system works is you're the Brahm, right? It's not about your AI brain. Are you still going out and mucking the stalls? Is that true?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I honestly would be able to. I think I'm quite fluent in AI, but in terms of practical application of AI, I get it in snips and snatches. I don't really have the full-time affordability to really do what I could do with all the tools that I have. I mean, I have these incredible workstations that are just waiting for me to pay attention, but it's been raining for the last several days. And that means that, there's just a huge amount of, muck raking that has to happen, in the context of just the chores around this place. So I get distracted, as we all do. And I think distraction and, alternate demands on our time and attention are really what drives that incredible statistic that, people just aren't using AI. Why? Because many people just don't have in their sort of daily routines, they don't have an obvious application for AI.
Right. And that's part of why the Ralph loop or the compound engineering maybe is what Every calls it. They have a plugin and a system. Those kinds of things that can be, if not totally autonomous, not needing to be watched the entire time, so you can be distracted and still have something running, building something for you.
It's an interesting, thought experiment. Like, Andy, you are quite fluent in AI. Yeah, for sure. And thank goodness that you're out here sharing. I think that makes a huge difference. And also, clearly, you're good at muckraking and cleaning, doing the other things around. So, for the people around you, do they look at, your Andy-shaped form and go, let's put him in the knowledge area, let's put him in the brains area, or do we put him in the brawn area? Or when the apocalypse strikes, are we all just going to your house because you've got both?
Oh, door number 2.
Door number 2. So
this place definitely is a refuge. So definitely, you are all invited when the apocalypse comes. This will be a refuge, but you will be responsible not only for accelerating the pace of our accomplishments in AI productivity, but you will also be responsible for muckraking and shit disturbing.
Shit disturbing? Uh-oh.
Well, I just want that opportunity to have the space to build stuff. I've been diving into this, self-sufficiency, self-sustaining technologies and really simple stuff like rocket mass heaters and using Fresnel lenses to create sand batteries to generate you heat and electricity, and then using your own systems to generate methane and liquid fertilizer. I could go on and on and on, but part of that is building out energy infrastructures, technology infrastructures. I think me and my friends have this idea that we could build our own data center in a barn out in the country, and then sell that compute to offload, like how you would offload extra power to the grid. But I digress, because that's another red string theory day, which could take everybody's time away from what we're supposed to be discussing today in AI. Yes, Greg, what did I just say? It's okay, Greg. Catch it on the replay. I was just going to go a little soapbox crazy there for a second.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody in the chat who volunteered to do not only, stall mucking, but also perimeter defense of the refuge here in the context of the apocalypse and the roaming hordes of zombies who are going to be approaching.
All right. And on that happy note,
Meanwhile, all my neighborhoods of every social media application I'm on is hatching plans to build tiny house communities for women as we age. So I'm kind of envisioning this cross section of, it's like a tiny house community, but it's also got the perimeter defense of the DAS crew, and it's got the science fiction, the brains, the brawn. It's all coming together. Roman hordes, yes. Yeah. Greg. Anyway.
All right. Jumi, take us out.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate that you took the time to join us in chat. But also thank you to everyone who's just watching this a little later. If you'd like to continue the conversation, please join us in our community at thedailyAIshowcommunity.com, and that'll get you right there. And based on a lot of people who show up in chat. They put in tons of great information. You'll find all of the links that to sources that we talk about throughout the various episodes, and the announcement of projects. We can see the output that all of our great community members have been creating with their own journey through AI. And make sure to hit the things that make the dings so that you never miss an episode. And join us for tomorrow and the rest of the week. Thank you so much, and aloha.